Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back
Can you
to
tell?
Jackie's House podcast. Season 1, baby.
Woo!
Can you tell? It's
Tell
season 1
Why is that?
because listen. No, seriously, listen. Like we sound better.
I think most people are gonna not
Right.
listen to Zero.
Oh,
If I'm being honest, Zero is more for us.
but we do have fans from Zero.
Oh yeah.
So
Yeah,
thank
the
you.
people that we know.
Yeah. Thanks for
We
thanks
kind
for
of
sticking
forced to,
around.
hey, listen to this podcast that I started.
And hey, if you didn't finish any of those episodes, I don't blame you.
yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, guys, it's been how many months?
It has been the last time we uploaded was February 26th, and it is as of recording, it is June 15th.
All
Jesus
right, so
Christ.
roughly 4 months.
4 months, yeah.
And no need to really elaborate on why, but you know,
Yeah.
COVID, we have a
Mhm.
whole pandemic going. It's still going.
Mhm.
And yeah, we really meant to like end the season 0 off with like the 20th episode, and then shortly after get a mixer, and then COVID happened, and then all stores closed down, and you know, we really couldn't get a mixer, but we
Hey,
just got one.
We got one, yeah, recently. We got one yesterday. And it, getting one yesterday does mean that we have not mastered this thing yet because
Nope.
I don't know what I'm looking at. It kind of looks like some kind of contraption that's like not meant for regular people to have.
Looks
But
like
It just looks
fucking,
cool. Looks pro.
spaceship type of beat.
now, if you are new, because this is the first episode, we should establish some norms we have going on. We are the Jackie's House podcast. Jackie is my little cat that I've had for a very long time. Actually, it's 2020. I got her in 2010, so 10
Whoa.
years of having that cat. And she kind of owns this house that we're recording in. Introduction. What me? Yeah. Jackie, lets us live here. We're kind of freeloading off her for right now, and if you have been following since the first one, you probably already know our names, but just in case, I am Rylan. This is my voice. I edit the podcast, so if it sounds bad, at me on Twitter, Pulse_caster. I'm joined by my other hosts.
I'm Marielle, sometimes referred as Nini,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm responsible for the icon you're looking at,
Oh,
or the
yeah.
video, or if you see tweets, sometimes me, or
It's most likely her.
yeah, the art you see, it's by me.
Nice.
And I'm Angelo. You know, I'm the third mic on the fucking mixer.
Hey.
I make the music for the podcast. What else do I do?
You provide your wonderful voice. I mean, that's the thing though. That's the dynamic I like, is because we're kind of like a host and then something else. Like
Yeah.
we all kind of add a creativity to it. And yes, that intro music you heard that brought us in, that is Angelo.
If I do say so myself.
Huh.
And it is a remix
Plug.
too. I mean,
That's
we
right.
didn't like really play it, but it's gonna be in post, and you're gonna hear it. It's
Oh yeah,
different from the first season. So like,
same
you know.
with the art. Like the
Mhm.
first one was a lot. I'm not saying it's like trash. I'm just saying it's very simple, kind of straight to the point, pink and black. Jackie's house, and now it looks a little bit more artsy.
Right. Yeah. So pretty much the whole aesthetic of the podcast is those two. I mean, I just do nothing but listen to my own voice. So, but like, everything that you're seeing, the vibe we're going for, if you're enjoying it or, you kind of like it, please stick around. We're just a bunch of Gen Zers.
Proud.
I'm kind of like a half and half.
Yeah,
guy
exactly.
myself.
Are you?
You're in that gray area.
Yeah, I'm in the like gray area.
Mhm.
Like if you Google it, a millennial, the cap is you.
Aren't all of
Sometimes
us?
it's 1995. Sometimes it's 2000.
Yeah, people can't
Some
really
people
decide.
like being super specific. Like, yeah, it's 1996 actually.
Yeah.
But if you're in the 95 to 2000 range,
Okay, so
you
That's
could
literally
kind of
us
be.
three.
so we are all.
Kind of be
Yeah.
a millennial. You could kind of be a Gen Zer. You kind of take the worst aspects of both sometimes.
Yeah, because like just out of curiosity, like I would take a test, like, or I would just look up, okay, well, who's a millennial and who's a Gen Z? But there's literally things from both that I could identify as. But I have like relatives who are legit like millennials, and then when I say like, oh, like I can relate, they're like, no, you can't, and I'm like, did you just invalidate me? And I was like, okay, I'm a Gen Z, and then like I talked to like my other cousins or my nephew who's like legit like born in past 2000. They're like, oh, but you're like kind of old. I'm like, excuse me.
You're right. Yeah. We exist in that kind of mid area, but
yeah, we carry the burden of, social responsibility just like the millennials, but we also have the, internet addiction, screen addiction, and kind of just overall depressiveness of Gen Zers. So
What?
Speaking of the social responsibility, COVID is not the only reason. We also have gone on a break.
Yes.
We currently live in America, and anybody who lives in America cannot kind of ignore what's going on right now. So there is a massive movement that has swept not only this country but also the world. I believe 18 international protests have happened. That number, I saw that like last month, so that could be old.
More
yeah,
countries.
there could be more at this point. But yeah, it's definitely the Black Lives Matter movement is swept the nation, and we have definitely tried to do our part, tried to help. We've gone to our protests in our local area, and we've all donated money to proper causes. Actually, if you're interested in doing that, in the description, if you're on SoundCloud or YouTube, in the description of this podcast, there will be a couple links. Most of them are, the main one is going to go towards that George Floyd fund, but I will also be posting a lot of other links. And this is something that I apologize, but we're not going to stay silent on. This isn't.
We're not really like a political podcast, but like this isn't really a thing that you can take sides on.
Right.
Like if you choose to be neutral or even like oppose it, you're literally a racist, dude. Like,
yeah, racism
come on, man.
is not controversial.
Right.
Yeah.
And racism also means, or at least like now, we cannot afford to be not racist, but to be anti-racist.
That's the point I was gonna go on next. Is that it's not enough to be not racist. And I think that's kind of the main message of this whole movement really is that we can't, if you're sitting idly by and letting these things happen, obviously that's you may not be directly like pushing the hate forward, but you're just letting it happen, and we can't afford to just sit idly by anymore for all this stuff to be going on. So, and
honestly, like it's interesting that you said like the movement has like swept the nation, because like the movement started like
years ago,
like earlier this decade, and I feel like COVID kind of made it possible to sweep the nation. Like no one's really working, everyone's just at home, and the fact that like that no one's really doing anything, like, and then this thing happens, everyone has to speak up about it.
Right, yeah.
You can't choose to ignore it. You literally look like a fool if you're ignoring it.
Yeah, honestly. Yeah. Like, how can you ignore it at that point? But this podcast is kind of free thought, free form from our mind. And obviously it's on everyone's mind. So, I'm not going to say that we're going to spend this whole podcast just talking about, some of this stuff, but we're definitely, if it comes up, we're not going to, avoid it or sweep around it. And like I said, it's not really like a political stance we're taking. It's definitely just, do you have empathy? Yeah. Pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I would like to strike another nail on the head. Fuck them pigs. That's pretty much all there is to it.
And defund the police.
Defund your police. Hey, if you're in America, look up how much of your city's budget is going towards the police department, and look up how much of that is going towards education, parks and recreation, healthcare, and just compare the numbers for yourself and think of the original goal of police, and it was to protect and serve,
but protect and serve white people's property.
Right. Okay. That's what we're saying, is that like it says protect and serve, but really like at this point actions just speak louder than words. And anyway, that's just stuff we wanted to get out of the way. Obviously we are back in action now. we talked a lot about the movement, but let's also hit one more nail on the head. COVID-19 is not over. It's not over.
Stay in if you can. Wear a fucking mask. Wear a mask, please.
We are all in the same room at the moment, but I know for sure these folks have been social distancing. I mean, it's kind of the same. If you watch like YouTubers like Game Grumps or something, it's kind of the same thing that they said, where they're saying like, we know for sure that this person I'm working with has been social distancing. They're not doing anything.
Or like haven't been really going out.
Yeah, we tested the waters. This isn't like our first time seeing each other in 4 months. We have hung out a couple times before this just to make sure. And if any of us had it, I think we would know by now.
Yeah, for sure.
But definitely still keep social distancing. If you're out in public at all, please wear a mask. That's very dangerous. I mean,
not
unless
about
you're
you, it's not for you.
Exactly. And
unless
you're in New Zealand, congratulations to New Zealand.
Oh,
They just got sports back with Oh, dude, we need to talk about American sports in this one because it's crazy. But we'll get to that. Anyway, yeah, just be safe. That's our little intro message. And you know what? That was only 11 minutes, so that was pretty quick. I thought we were going to spend a little bit more on that, but
that's true. But like with all of like everything that's happening, we could literally. Not literally, but there's just so much to talk about for each and one of those that we could it could go on for one episode of itself, but because again we don't claim it's really a political podcast or anything like that.
That and also like you're to the listeners, you guys are probably consuming a lot of media that's already talking about this. Shit. And we're probably not the best source of information for anything. We're with the movement, but like we're not really like ones to preach or like teach anyone about this. Like we're all learning about it, Yeah.
So but like I mentioned one more time, I will mention it. This is a free form podcast, so if the topic comes up again, like sorry, but this is just from our minds. And like honestly, how can both of those things not be on your mind? So if it comes up, it comes up. We're not going to refrain from who we are. That's just kind of the intro of this podcast. Like I kind of want to establish some norms because this may be a lot of people's first ones listening to it. So
I'm just gonna
we just like talking.
I'm just gonna say like fuck them pigs every 10 minutes.
And
every 10 minutes.
Hey, and happy Pride Month.
Oh,
exactly.
It's June, baby.
But also but like that community is always welcome the whole year. It doesn't just have to be 1 month. Yeah. That's all.
Oh yes,
Black
we're back to the
lives matter.
We're back to the Mario is quiet meme.
Hey, well, because like I don't want to interrupt.
No, I like when you go quieter as your sentence goes along to where by the end you're whispering.
Like, I get like a little unsure, and I'm like, shit. Yeah. Like
no, it's all good. I need
to be more confident.
You're good.
Oh, and also like on that note of like Black trans lives matter, they finally have a suicide hotline for trans.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so
that. Yes.
That number is always available.
And in the description.
It's going to be in the description.
Right. Yes, absolutely.
Yes.
Anything else we want to talk about on this topic before we move on?
Fuck them pigs.
Fuck them pigs. Sign the petitions.
You're right.
The world's your oyster to learn. You don't need someone to tell you to educate yourself unless you're just, ignorance is bliss.
Ignorance. Yeah. Don't be one of those people on Twitter when like you like reply to them and then they're like, can you link me an article? It's like, use Google, bruh.
Come on, dude.
Use your own search engine.
Like if you're already on Twitter, there's already so much for you to look up.
Yeah.
Not saying it's the most like valid resource, but there's a bunch of sources on Twitter that will link you to other sources.
If you don't like reading, like there are fucking like Netflix documentaries and shit.
Right.
Yeah, movies. Come
Every
on, dude.
single kind of media. There's music about it. There's movies about it. There's books about it. There's articles about it. There's no reason. You
probably consumed it without even thinking that it's related to.
Right.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah. Cool.
Speaking of media and music, let's start this one off with a vibration check.
Vibration check. Oh my god. Now, if you are
check.
new, we do this segment every now and then. I kind of want to do it every episode,
I
but
can.
but season 0 we just kind of did it when we remembered.
Yeah.
Vibration check is just kind of like, what have the hosts been listening to recently?
Mhm.
And
Because we're music people.
yeah, we're oh, you're about to find out.
We're like big music people.
Yeah.
So it's just kind of what we've been listening to recently, and eventually I would like to get maybe like some kind of playlist made where we would compile everything.
Can I
Oh,
do
like,
it?
Hell yeah.
Oh sure, yeah, if you want to, like all of the stuff we've mentioned. But let's just do a little round robin and talk about what we've been listening to recently.
Yes.
So this is probably not a surprise to these two, but I have been listening to Brockhampton again.
Yo,
Yes, Brockhampton.
The boys.
The boys.
are back in
It's 7 o'clock. Y'all know that song.
So, their new project, nobody really kind of knows what's going on
They have a new
because they're
project?
just yeah. I was playing it in the car on our way to get the
Oh,
mixer.
that's what it was.
Yeah, so it's called technical difficult. Well, I don't know what it's called, but I mean they say technical difficulties at the beginning of every song, so
Oh, I thought that
I
was
assume that's what it is.
old.
I have a bit written down here for what the emphasis I want to say. Now, I might surprise a couple of you, but
Okay.
I am a rather informed Brockhampton fan. Like I'm not just like their music is good. Like I know the group a bit. We've been to the concerts.
Yep.
And so Brockhampton, this is their, well, if you want to count technical difficulties as like an official project, I guess this would be their sixth, technically, if you want to count 3 saturations, iridescence, and ginger.
Well, technically, even before saturation,
Was
they had
American-
that All-American Trash.
Yeah,
So 3, that's 4, and then
5, 6, 7. So
Was
This
that
is
the
gonna be the
yellow
7th like endeavor.
picture yellow album
Yeah,
cover?
yeah.
yes.
I like that one.
Yeah. Anyway, so not recently, but I kind of went through a bit of like a lapse in listening to them, because when I lived in Phoenix, Arizona, like 2-3 years ago, and on the way home from work, I was like bumping Saturation every day. I mean, out of the Saturation trilogy, 2 is my favorite. I liked kind of the hype and the feel of the music. It was very like fun. But as time went along, I mean, obviously the group, experienced a bit of like a controversy, or one of the members had to leave, and that led to like an emotional album of Iridescence, and then Ginger was like kind of their. Wait, were they signed by a label for Iridescence, or was that like them?
For Iridescence, yeah.
Okay, so I thought for like a little bit, I thought maybe I wasn't like too big of a fan of the direction they were going in since they got signed. So I was thinking like, oh, maybe that's why I don't like it, or maybe that's why I'm not just clicking with it as much as the last one. But this new project, Technical Difficulties, I am aware of some of the criticism that's getting tossed its way by like music reviewers around. If you watch like, I don't know, Fantano or something, like they were saying that the production is kind of a like rough, and the ideas kind of don't have a lot of time to be fleshed out because
For technical difficulties.
yeah, because these verses are like 16 bars and like that's
Right,
it.
yeah.
And like even like a lot of people have been pointing out that Matt Champion specifically has been doing pretty good on this
Matt's
project.
going fucking hard.
But
dude.
here, I just kind of wrote it down, so I'm just gonna read what I said. Technical difficulties is what I like about it is that it kind of has the hype and feel of Saturation. There's a lot of bangers, as one would call them. It also combines the emotions of like Iridescence, because while the boys are like, they're not necessarily like rapping about nothing, which is at times kind of what I felt about Ginger, especially after watching interviews about like St. Percy and stuff. There seemed to be kind of a disconnect in the group where people were like, the song St. Percy in particular, they were talking about like how most of the members, like Dom, Kevin, Matt, all on that song, they were just having fun. They didn't really think too much about their bars. Dom even wrote his verse like separate from that song, and then was just like, oh, this verse will fit nice with the song, and then just kind of threw it in. But then Merlin, who has the last verse of the song, says that that song was like about his friend who got like murdered. And then like if you watch interviews for that, or at least the first interview where they talked about it, like the rest of the group kind of got surprised by that. Like they were like, oh really? Like, so they didn't even know. So it felt like there was maybe a bit of a disconnect on Ginger. But what I feel about Technical Difficulties is I agree that a lot of the ideas don't have time to get fleshed out, but I like how fast paced it is. I like how things just keep moving. It feels like a modern take on Saturation, because Saturation was just a bunch of friends living in the same house, making a bunch of music, and you know, some of them had some emotion to it, but others were just songs about being hype, you know, like having fun, having bangers. But I feel like Technical Difficulties has found that balance of the song's a banger, and also you know, they're speaking with a lot of emotions, and a lot of members that are normally kind of a bit sidelined, like Joba and Bareface, are kind of making a bit of a resurgence. I know Bareface has been featured recently in Ginger, like he, you know, he's the part that everybody likes in Sugar. But yeah. To cap it off, I'm just gonna play a little tidbit. This is from their song Fishbone on their project, Technical Difficulties. So as you can see, I mean, obviously it's not like I like the variation on it because it plays to everyone's strengths. They have a lot of R&B songs like Baby Bull and Fishbone, and they have a lot of songs where people are just rapping their minds out, like, you know, IFL or NST or something. So, and NST, that's a perfect example, because the vocals you just heard in that clip I just played, that was Bareface, one of the members. He's kind of like the singy boy, like he has very good vocals. But in NST, he has a pretty hype moment where, you know, he's kind of has this like drony like and like
a vibey like rappy
right.
Yeah.
So I like how it feels like the boys are stepping out of their comfort zone, but also kind of finding their groove. And I hope that whatever this is leading to is cool. That was long, but I'm done. Sorry.
Very thorough Brockhampton review, but I like it. I like it.
Thank you.
It's appreciated.
Let's move on.
Oh wait, I had like one question. How new is it? Technical Difficulty.
So they released the first two songs about a month ago, and then they released like another 3 and then another 3. They're releasing them in bursts.
Oh yeah, that's really unheard of.
Right. And see, people don't even know if this is like an album. Like people like, it's like, is it just maybe a fun thing they're doing? Like they're releasing just 3 songs. I mean, one of the songs has JPEG Mafia, so Peggy fans.
Hey, you like him?
Damn, Peggy. Gab. Yeah. Man.
Yeah.
You can go.
What do you mean?
Vibration check.
Oh, my turn first?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I think I haven't really like done a vibration check for like the whole year, right? Basically.
Pretty much.
And I think pretty much this whole time my music taste can be summed up with one word, and that's women.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
We love women.
What women we talking about?
I would actually like, divide these
females?
I don't want to divide females, but I want to like categorize the music style. Categorize the music style with like 2
genres,
different
nice
variations. There's sad girls and then there's happy girls. So I think I'll start with the sad girls first.
Let's go.
Oh my god.
So these are like, singer-songwriter, acoustic, kind of taking inspiration from like the emo, like the early 2000s emo and pop punk scene. I'm talking about like Soccer Mommy, talking about Clairo, I'm talking about Snail Mail, and the one that I want to highlight, which is my favorite, and I've been talking to pretty much everyone about this, is Phoebe fucking Bridgers. Man. I mean, it's really just like pure like songwriting talent. Like honestly, she's only put in one album, and it's the Stranger in the Alps album that she released in 2017. But I've been like re-listening to that
Nice.
like on loop 24/7, and like I've kind of taken a break from it because like I'm like, wait, I took a like deeper dive into the lyrics. I'm like, wait, this shit is like sad, like talks about like emotional abuse and sexual harassment, and like I definitely like don't relate to those things, but like there were stuff that I related to, like coming from like a small town and like learning to embrace that and stuff like that. But yeah, Phoebe Bridgers, shout out to her.
Yes, Phoebe.
And she has a new album coming out this week.
What?
Actually on Friday, on the 19th.
This is hopefully being released on Wednesday, so that's 2 days from release from now.
It's called Punisher, and there's already 3 singles from it. Let me actually play one of the songs. It's called Kyoto. Yeah, dude. The fucking chorus of that song, like, it goes like, "I'm gonna kill you if you don't beat me to it," and then like, man, shit hits hard, man.
Right.
So yeah, that's Sad Girls. Moving on to Happy Girls, and it's not necessarily happy because there are like lyrics within their music that are emotional, and like there's still, it's not to say that they're like, oh, positive vibes and stuff. It's more like the sound of it is hype, and it's more like high energy type stuff, and I'm talking about Dua Lipa.
Yes.
Fucking
Yes.
Rina Sawayama. Charlie XCX.
Yes, Charlie.
And Carly Rae Jepsen, in that order respectively, because since the beginning of the year they've released albums, all bangers.
In that order respectively, you meaning Dua Lipa is your favorite?
No, like in the order that they released those albums.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, I mean, I do have different moods for, like, and I'm having a hard time deciding which like song to play from them.
That's okay.
But like I have different moods. Like they're all like super fun. Like Dua Lipa's music is like super bouncy and makes me want to like
Dua Lipa
fucking shake my ass and shit.
Yeah.
What's it called? Rina Sawayama. I like how she takes like inspiration from like 2000s pop and R&B, like Beyonce and like, girl groups and boy bands like that, but also mixes in like punk and metal. Like there's this song XS. Oh my God. Like it'll be like some like shaker, like like kind of, spicy sounding shit. And then like they're like, to break it off as a fill, there'll be like a riff of like, like, who does that?
Right.
Yeah. That album is called Sawayama. Man, that's a 10.
That's a 10?
Yeah.
Wow.
And then there's Carly Rae Jepsen. Like the one she released is more of like a B-side, like, cause she made B-sides for her, I think 2018 album Emotions, and then she made a B-side for this one that she released last year called Dedication, and even that one, like, B-side, like the term B-side doesn't do it justice, because it could be its own standalone album. It's really really good.
That's awesome.
And Charlie XCX, man,
what can you say?
What can I say? Like, dude, I think she has done like the best job of creating art through the medium of quarantine. Like anyone, like I tried to make music, like write lyrics about quarantine and like how COVID has affected me, and I was like, I stopped because I was like, this is fucking cringy, man.
I see what you mean.
But like she does it really well. She talks about like being bored. She talks about like missing hanging out. But
are you like specifically talking about like how I'm feeling now?
Yeah. That's the album, How I'm Feeling Now. Like it's that, like this is what I said earlier. It's like it's not like it's not necessarily like happy. There is like some emotion put
Right.
into it, but like every song is a fucking banger, man.
Right,
Like
right.
like the sound of it is just like, oh man. Yeah.
Nice.
Let's play.
I'm
Let's
gonna
play a Charlie song.
Charlie. Okay, so that's the one you've settled on.
Yes. Let's see. It's called Anthems. God damn.
I'm so bored.
See, like first word, like I'm so bored, and
Yeah.
it doesn't come off as cringy or anything. It's like, listen, man, I'm trapped in here, and it sucks, and I'm depressed,
it
but
sucks.
I'm gonna deliver some bangers for
Right,
y'all.
exactly.
Yeah.
So thank you, Charlie.
Thank you to women. Thank you to all women
All-
content
oh.
creators.
I was like, all
No.
women?
Thank you to all women.
Oh wow! Thank you to
Yeah.
all women,
Yes.
even the bad ones. No, just kidding. No, you guys suck.
Yeah.
What's up, Mario?
Oh, hi. Oh, hi, Mark. No, hello. Oh yeah, I guess it's my turn.
Yes, it is.
I don't really have anything like really in depth just because of quarantine. My touch with music is very, I don't know, it feels kind of distant. I don't really care for music, but I'm constantly trying to find a sound that I like, I vibe, it can
Right.
vibration check. And I guess the stuff I listen to is really wide because I had a hot moment of listening to specifically Japanese girl rock
Oh
bands.
yeah, you did.
Yep.
That's right.
Yeah, I mean, I do love them, but I guess that was also the time where I was also super into working out, and like now I'm not. So I don't really listen to them as much. And then because I do like K-pop, the only group I really keep up with is Twice. They came out with a mini album called More and More. They became a little bit more experimental. Some members were able to shine more in the music video as well.
Mm-hmm.
Love my Queen Jihyo. Yeah. Other than them, like their album More and More, this was literally a couple days ago. I was just on Spotify. I was like, oh, I found this. I had this new song recommended to me called Baby Powder by Genevieve. And because I hang out with Angelo, I was like, oh my gosh, I made this playlist called Sunshine. Because this was the
Yo.
first time in such a long time I felt a specific way about this song, or like the vibe that it gave me. Sorry if that sounds kind of cringy. And I was like, okay, I just need to make a playlist, and I know exactly which songs are going to be on it. And for some reason, all of it just felt like sunshine to me, like
Aw.
warm and bright. Even though the songs aren't necessarily bright, it could be dark, but the vibe it gave me,
Right, yeah.
it brought some. I don't
What's
know,
important is how you interpret it.
Yeah, it brought light into me.
Can I just say that playlist goes hard, dude?
You like it?
It's yeah.
Ooh.
I mean, I haven't
actually like it?
I haven't gotten to like following it or saving it, but like
Interesting.
when we were in the car and you played, I was like, dude, this is like quality. Like, and
Right.
you said you're able to like, you already knew which songs are exactly
Yeah,
gonna
like
be in it.
I liked that song, Baby Powder by Genevieve. I don't know if I'm pronouncing her name right. And then I was like, okay, I need to create a playlist. I'm gonna name it Sunshine because that's how she's making me feel.
Aw.
And then all the other songs I already knew, and it took me like less than 5 minutes
Mhm.
to create the playlist. And
was
then like we were in the car, we went on a drive, and I played it,
Mhm.
and I'm very surprised that like he likes it.
It wasn't even too long. It's like 35,
Yeah,
40
like less
minutes.
than an hour.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Less than
and that's
45
honestly
minutes.
to me that's like the perfect length for a playlist. Or
Yeah.
like if like one that is like has like a theme or like something.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do like that. Like, I do like that time spent because if you, let's say, like work close to home or like your drive is 10 to 15 minutes, you
Mhm.
can listen to the first half of that playlist on the way there and then the second half on the way back. Or if you drive a little bit longer, you know, you could listen to the whole playlist on the way to work or something. Like
Oh yeah.
because I feel like there will never be a moment where you could, like, I feel like if there's songs that are put like super late on the list, there's a chance that like you just won't get around to it because if you're always just getting in the car and then playing the playlist, it's
Yeah.
like there's a chance you won't get to it. But that's like that sweet spot, you know.
Mhm.
If it was like an hour long, then like there's probably songs around like the 50-minute mark that you would just never listen to because it's so deep.
Yeah.
So yeah, nice.
Other than that, okay, okay, I said Japanese girl bands,
Yep. K-pop.
Twice, K-pop, Genevieve, and then I guess two other artists I can mention is Victoria Monet and
Victoria Monet makes what kind of music?
kind of, I don't even know how to describe
Like
it.
we're trying to get people to be like, if this sounds good to you, maybe check it out. So like describe it for
true.
people.
Contemporary R&B, right?
Yeah, like both of them are both in that R&B section, but because R&B is so wide and like which direction you could take
yeah.
it, it's not that they sound similar, but it's again R&B. I don't want to be incorrect saying what genre it is, but I will play two songs I've been listening to the most, like as of recently, and the first one is Baby Powder by Genevieve. And again, like, because I only use Spotify for music for the most part, she only has 2 songs on there, so I really don't know anything about
like she
her.
could.
Dude,
Yeah.
you're kind of like, you just like
Early fan.
Yeah, you're early fan. Just found like a new gem.
Nice.
This
Yeah.
you know, it's crazy. Not put it
No,
out there.
flex.
Okay,
I know
I'll
where this
flex.
is
I'll
going.
okay, you know where this is
Yeah, I
going
know where this is
because
going.
I take a lot of pride in like being their fan. Hella early, dude. And it is Snow Allegra and Choker, and they're pretty well known now. But when I first, not to be that fan, but I'm going to be that fan like for like 2
Flex.
minutes. Literally, I found a Snow song on a commercial, and it was like a YouTube commercial that lasted maybe less than 10 seconds, and I like Shazam that shit and I was like, oh
Nice.
shit, like this is it. And she only had maybe 2 what do you call those, not albums, EPs. I think she only had like 2 EPs. And I was like, oh my god, this is it. And then next thing you know, it like maybe a couple months later, she finally was like an opening act to Daniel Caesar.
Oh,
Yeah.
I
cool.
was like, oh my gosh, like I get to see my queen. And then she finally had 2 of her own solo tours, and I didn't get to go to any of them. But the fact that she did, and it's so cool, she's getting
Right,
like the
yeah.
recognition that she deserves. And I think for a short time she was trained with Prince before.
Oh yeah, she did. She said that
Yeah.
in interviews.
Trained with Prince?
Yeah.
Trained what?
Like as a vocal.
Oh, okay.
person,
making
yeah.
music.
Mhm.
It was pretty cool.
Oh,
Yeah,
Yeah.
very cool.
that's dope.
And then the other one is Choker. And yeah, we saw him in concert. Very small venue. But he did perform. Where did he perform last year? I think
Flogna.
Camp Flogna.
And I think he was
Tylerson.
scheduled to do Coachella this year.
Oh yeah, he was. And then
I think
COVID.
he did Coachella last year.
He did.
Yeah.
Well, good for him.
No,
The
he's
first
good.
thing that like stood out to me about him was one, his voice kind of sounded like Frank Ocean, but I mean his music standalone is very good. And I will now play again the songs that I was super into. Baby Powder. Let me just ramp up my volume. Okay. Okay, that's what the song, like the whole song sounds like. I mean, besides her singing. Okay, and then the second song I will play is by Victoria Monet. She was in a song with Ariana Grande that like got
Whoa.
popular. I don't know which one
Hmm.
because I don't listen to Ariana like that.
Dang.
My bad.
Hey man.
Actually, I'm not sorry. Whatever. Okay. Yeah, because okay.
Yeah.
You're saying everything I like. I could watch your lips move all night,
Should I?
making me think you might have the type of brain I like. Promise I'ma make you rain for you.
Yeah, and then like later, like literally a couple seconds later, it has like that like ear
Wait, is
song.
that Dive?
Yeah, this is Dive by Victoria Monet, and
Dude.
it's literally about her getting head, which is kind of crazy
It's super empowering.
because you never hear it. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
and I think, I hope I'm correct, but she's also a proud queer woman.
Nice.
Yeah, Victoria Monet. I hope I got that right. Yeah, that's my little vibration check.
Dang.
Vibration check
Yeah.
is over.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys. That's a regular segment we're going to have. It's not going to last that long all the time because
Yeah.
only one of us are going to go usually, but that we just,
But it's been such a long time.
it's been such a long time, so we thought we'd do it. Something else happened since we've last recorded.
Oh.
I am now allowed to buy lighters.
We
Were
got
you not allowed to?
We got ourselves
I'm 21
a
now.
21-year-old.
Wait. Okay,
What?
I'm actually serious.
What?
If you're not
It's
21, you can't.
paraphernalia.
Yeah.
What?
I mean, what reason would an under 21-year-old need a lighter for?
Barbecues.
Camping?
No, like like you can't buy like tobacco products,
Mm-hmm.
and you also can't
buy a lighter, though?
shit that you can use to smoke with.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah, you can't buy like pieces or anything.
Yeah.
Damn. I did not know that.
Can't buy like those little pipes. You know, those little pipes where you put like it's like the long tube and then just the bowl. It's like
Oh,
those
yeah.
Gandalf pipes.
But
Not even allowed to buy
a
those.
simple lighter?
Not even allowed to buy a simple lighter.
Like, you have to be 21?
Yep. I mean, same with anything alcohol related, anything
What?
smoking related. If it's 21, I mean, I'm still not I'm still not free of the restrictions. I can't rent a car yet.
Oh, yeah, that's
But-
like 25, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like 25. Well, I think federally it's 25, but states I think could have their
It
own.
varies.
Because I heard in Hawaii it's like 23.
Oh, yeah. I did look that up because I wanted to go to Hawaii this year and wanted to rent a car, but...
What?
Man.
Run it
wait.
back?
Are we gonna? Do you have anything more to say about like being 21 and stuff?
It's cool. I had
Okay.
a nice day. You guys came over. It was very nice.
Yeah.
Like that. I think I'm fully transitioned into adult, but we're going for like 90 to 120 minutes.
Oh,
We're not going for an
okay.
hour.
I was like, are we like restricted?
No. But I felt it was. I think I fully embraced the adult birthday because it's no longer like, Mom, invite my friends and my family over. Let's have a cake and play some games. It's more like I just want to chill with my friends. My birthday presents are just money now that I don't get like specific things because I don't really want specific things. I'm kind of transitioned into the full on adult birthdays and like you know what I like it more because spending
genuine.
time with friends is like kind of all I really want to do. Like I just don't really like. I don't have a need or want to go out and partying, and I kept my birthday. I guess I should also mention that I kept my birthday on the down low because get the Ryland's a pussy comments going because I just don't fuck with alcohol. It's just kind of not my thing. There's no like reason. I'm not like people who drink alcohol are disgusting. It's more just like
Do you
I
think
It's a
it
personally
tastes
taste.
don't like it.
gross?
I think I've trained myself to think it's gross.
Oh, okay.
Like any kind of alcohol, I'll like regurgitate it. Like my sister-in-law gave me a Truly, and I like took one sip, and I was like, ugh! Like I was about to.
I know it's fruity, but like I can taste the little bit of
exactly. I could like taste it. So yeah, I'm just not. I will just be designated driver for my whole life, and I've accepted that, and I like
That's
that.
so not like you not liking alcohol is convenient, but specifically our very specific friend group have some alkies in here.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's the one that we have guests.
yeah, it's
they were.
sometimes.
I like how they both individually appeared on an episode last season, but like not together. It was
Yeah.
like one was Chris and the
Yeah.
other one was Francis.
Yeah. Oh yeah. If you're new, our other friends are Chris and France.
Oh, I should mention
Yeah.
something.
Later. Off
Yeah.
pod.
But
No, not up on.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Sorry.
No, keep going. What were you saying?
What was I gonna say? But yeah, those two, if you don't know or don't even know them, they enjoy their alcohol consumption, beverage quite often. They're heavy drinkers, and then we got
Man, you're making them sound like
no. They're not terrible. I'm just saying that like out of
I wouldn't say they're heavy drinkers.
I would not say they're heavy
They can
drinkers,
they
yeah.
can handle their liquors. is what
Right.
I would say.
I mean, they're also
Yeah.
young, so
yeah.
yeah,
that-
but a lot though.
Okay.
Well, yeah. I mean, but like
They don't get fucked
heavy,
up, though.
heavy drinkers are like you're drinking every night and you're like an alcoholic
For no reason.
For no reason.
Not even like turning
like you
up.
get off work and you're
Yeah.
just drinking,
Oh,
and it's like
I didn't mean it.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah,
I think you mean to say they can handle.
they
their
can handle
liquor.
the alcohol.
yeah, a lot.
They have a high tolerance. Yeah.
Yeah, a lot.
It's good for them.
Yeah, and then
I wish I did. I'm honestly.
you're like a beer guy.
No.
No, yes, dude.
I like. Okay.
no,
I like.
no. Can I talk?
I like.
Can I
dr-
talk?
what?
I want to speak up for once. And this is one of them. You like, not that, no, you do like mixtures or cocktails, right?
Yeah.
But for the most part, because of what you can't handle, at least like literally, like your body reaction wise.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
Putting you on blast, son.
Not even in a bad way.
It kind of sounds like a bad way.
No, because a lot of,
roasting me.
specifically, like a lot of Asians experience this with alcohol, right?
Yes. Okay. I have really bad Asian glow.
No, I didn't mean. Oh,
Yeah.
forget it.
Speak what you were gonna say.
It shows.
Yeah, it's just that you're good with the one beer and like you're chill. That's
Yes.
it.
Okay. Yeah. I usually choose to go with one beer
Right.
because I babysit it for the entire thing. It's not like people are gonna keep handing me stuff
Mhm.
if I have a beer in hand.
Right.
Thing is, don't call me a beer guy because
That's not.
like white dudes are like beer guys. Like
Right.
what IPA do you have on
Right.
tap?
Right. Yeah.
Like our friend Josh in the military is a beer guy. He's
Mhm.
like
He is?
into like
Yes.
he's into regular like draft beers like Coors and Miller and Bud and shit like that.
Mhm.
It's usually like 5 to 6%. The things that like beer guys drink, it's
Heavier
like
alcohol.
yeah, it's like a game to them. It's
Yeah.
like,
Exactly.
like how high can you go? Like some people like,
Right.
drink like 11% beers, and it's like
That's
Is that
crazy.
a lot?
that's like I don't know. Like isn't wine like around 11 or
Mhm.
double digits
13?
at least? Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But I'm not a beer guy. I just want to say that.
Yeah.
Well,
I would say
I'm
that
sorry.
because I've seen you go through like your alcohol journey. I don't think that like people could like I think people might see you with one beer and then think like, oh, he has a low tolerance, but I just think you know your limit. Like you're like, okay, well,
Yeah.
I'm not like I know that if I keep drinking I'm going to get fucked up. So like I'm just going to have this one and get to the part where you're having fun, like, and that's all kind of what you really want to do. It's not like you're like, I refuse hard alcohol or I refuse the deep liquor or anything. I don't know. Sorry, I don't know terminology. I don't know
hard
shit about-
liquor. I think. Yeah.
Cool.
okay. Sometimes
That's what I meant.
Sometimes I think I'm ashamed that I like drinking, so I really avoid as much as possible.
Man, you don't need to be ashamed
And
about that.
then I don't know.
Aren't you like 22?
I'm turning 22.
This is the time where your liver can handle it, so enjoy it. By the time we
Yeah.
reach our like late 30s, we just maybe we can't handle it anymore. So
That's true.
We're young.
I do like drinking, and like I know I have a pretty heavy tolerance, but I just don't want to test it
Mhm.
because I've gotten really far, but never like blacked out, and I never want to get blacked out. But
I have.
good for you, dude.
Sucks.
it sucks.
Dope. Anyways, like I do like drinking. It's just that I also don't like. You know how sometimes heavy drinking is associated with parties,
Yes,
but I don't really like parties.
I see what you mean.
But I like hanging out with friends, but not all of us drink. And that's not even a problem to me. It's just that the opportunities for me to like drink like that
Turn up.
is
Like shots.
yeah, it's kind of rare, but I also don't like parties when the opportunity is handed to me.
So do you like the functions my brothers have been throwing this past like last year?
Yeah,
We
it's
threw,
like
I fuck with
it's a
those.
very comfortable size.
because that's like kind of the point we were going for is we're trying to throw like a party, but it's not like a party where it's like, yo, I can't hear you, let's like go somewhere else to
Yeah.
talk.
Where
'cause,
it's like
I don't know
it's
what's going
body
on.
to body
Yeah.
type of like
Everyone's
I'll probably
legit chill.
go to one like a year for
Mhm.
like that type of function because maybe get out of my system while I
Right.
can with not that many responsibilities, but still I'd rather have people I know, at least 3 people. That's very specific, but with
No.
bad experiences I just need at least more than 2 people I know and trust around me to drink like that
Mhm.
and have
No,
fun.
honestly, when I get invited to like shit like that, I kind of make up an excuse to not go.
Really?
Yeah.
Dude, me too. You're like speaking my language.
Yeah. I mean, like I like. What do I? Nah, I don't like drinking, and I don't really know if I like people that much. Like in terms of
That's
like
the thing.
strangers and
Mhm.
shit.
Oh my gosh.
No, yeah, no, I don't like.
Speaking of that, I already know like I'm pretty introverted, but like quarantine and COVID really made it very clear for me how not antisocial, but how I don't like people.
Introverted you are, yeah.
Yeah, and I don't like big gatherings as much as I thought I did, but maybe I was like faking it till I make it back then, because now if someone's like, oh, we should like turn up sometime, now that idea kind of just makes me feel like, I don't.
Oh yeah. Oh my
like,
god.
I don't want to. I know I'm gonna be uncomfortable, so
Yeah.
don't.
I also am pretty introverted. I figured this out when I went to like a massive party in high school, like the biggest party I've ever been to, and it was like huge. They hired a DJ, and it was like at a house.
Whoa.
And I mean, the house was massive. This person was like rolling in it. So, this party was massive, and like I just did not enjoy myself, and that's kind of one of the reasons I've avoided college. I didn't go, or I went to college for like fucking couple months, and then I dropped out because just not my thing. And that's one of the things about the virus that's like kind of hitting me is the fact, like, not that I'm feeling like cooped up, but it's the fact that other people are, and I hate like seeing my friends go through shit. So like for me, COVID hasn't affected me personally too much, like, because I would have stayed inside all the time anyway. Like I could go literally days without talking to people, and it wouldn't affect me. But I know that not everyone's like that, especially even people in our group, like Francis and stuff. Like he has to socially
to go out.
Like he has to, and that's just he's just a bit more of an extrovert, and that's fine. Like everybody's doing their own thing. But I could, like, I joke around a lot, like especially when I'm at my a low or something. I'm like, oh yeah, maybe I'll just disappear or something, and go live somewhere and not tell anyone. But it's like that. I'm not joking. Like I could literally do that and not feel too much. I mean, obviously I would miss like you guys, but I think space confinement isn't really a thing for me. Like I in real life I live in like the smallest room in my house. I never really leave the house, and it's not like I don't have friends. I mean, like I'm just one of those people who use maybe Discord a bit more socially, just because I don't have to leave or really interact with people face to face, and that causes some problems for me sometimes. Like if I'm actually out and about, like sometimes I feel like I need to brush up on my social skills.
Oh, definitely, yeah. There are times when I legit I'm like relearning how to talk to people. Like, yeah. Dude, if I didn't have a job, oh my fucking god, like I through this whole COVID shit, and I'm like just indoors all the time. If I came back into the workforce or like even just like interacted with people again, I would be like, how high are you? What?
Dude, I hate small talk.
My name Angelo.
I hate small
Me
talk.
too. Okay, there's also another thing is that I've experienced probably the most like phone calls this year than like any other year, and obviously it's because I can't see people face to face. But there are times when like on a phone call I'll just go silent for like 3 minutes, and people are like, "Are you okay?" And it's like I just enjoy silence. I don't mind sitting in silence. Word. And that doesn't work with some people, and that's fine. But it's just for me specifically, like I could sit in silence for the whole day. I could go a whole day without using my vocal cords, and I'd be
that
like,
part.
Yeah, that part right there. Yeah. So, yeah.
You mentioned college.
Oh, another thing is different
Another
since we last
thing that
recorded.
happened, bro.
We got ourselves a
boy.
graduate.
It's your boy.
Yes.
I'm done.
Dunzo.
What'd you get?
What do you mean?
What's your degree?
I have a bachelor in
Whoa.
arts.
That's crazy.
Bachelor of arts in economics.
Yup.
That's
a BA.
Making money
Yeah,
moves.
it's a BA.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I can
BS is a little more,
Math?
advanced, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah,
I would say it's
feel
more
it.
like technical.
Yeah, I don't think they provided it though. It was only BA.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But man,
How you
feels
feel?
kind of weird.
Yeah.
It's the first time I am like I don't have to do school shit. And honestly, like, here's the thing, and I think a lot of people can relate to this. I love learning. I just hate school. Right?
Yep.
Oh my God, yes.
I'm going to repeat that for the people in the back.
Say it again, King.
I love learning,
Yup.
but I hate school. Yeah.
School
Tell
system
'em.
sucks.
Yeah. Honestly, like, I don't know if I'm going to be going back to
It's always an
try
option.
to get a master's or something, especially with like my degree, like all the competition that I have in the job market, like they either have like extensive skills along with their bachelor, or they have the upper, like the post grad um degree and shit like that. But I don't know. Maybe I'm still trying to figure out what I want to do career wise.
Mhm.
Like, do I want to, go on YouTube or Skillshare to learn all these like programming languages that they
That you
didn't
should have
teach me in
been.
school
Yep.
that I should have learned because all these companies are asking for it?
That's school.
Or should I do something that's
American school.
well, I
Yeah.
I I mentioned that I got a job during
Mhm.
COVID and I work at a credit union, and like maybe like that has opened my horizons of like maybe like it's still kind of economics, it's more of like a finance thing.
Mhm.
It's more of like a money and like it's more involved with money like directly instead of like theory and stuff like that.
Mhm.
But I could like try working in the financial sector of like maybe banking and loans and investments and shit, but who knows?
Who knows?
Yeah, don't ever let your major or just quote unquote normal job opportunities like limit you to other adventures.
Yeah, and I mean
Exactly.
like this is just like I constantly talk about this, but like the job thing, the career thing is literally just like a means of income just to
Mhm.
get money, but like I want to keep saying this to as many people, and now it's on record. I'm
Right.
saying this. I am going to start a business.
Okay.
And
He said
it's
it.
on record. So if I
Mhm.
don't follow through with this, I'm a
Fuck you.
literal
I'm just
fool,
kidding.
and
Hey, man.
I'm gonna
But life
be
changes.
sad.
You're
and
being,
stuff.
don't be too harsh on yourself.
Yeah, but this is like
It's a goal, though. It's a dream.
it. Yeah, it is a dream and a goal, and I don't think I've like had any, not any, but I don't think I've had a lot of like long term goals that I've set in the past. But this is like one that I really want to follow through with.
Right.
A lot of like it's kind of like taken some time, maybe like a year to like refine what I want. Before like I've expressed my like interest in fashion and stuff,
Right.
but like
Oh,
I
yeah.
think the market like of fashion and just like the culture in general is like super oversaturated with like random streetwear brands, and like streetwear itself, like it's become like such a huge part of like fashion as a whole now. But streetwear, it has to mean something. It has like the origins of streetwear like was from hip hop,
Right.
skaters, punks, like basically like movements and subcultures. So like it has to mean something. And there's so many like like quote like streetwear brands that don't really stand for something. They're just kind of doing it just cuz. And I was getting into that mindset for a while, but I think like with like my education and like business and econ, like I think I could do more while still being in the field of fashion that I really like admire. So
Right.
I don't know if I've said this on the pod before, but I want to make like a clothing manufacturing, like apparel manufacturing business. So I want to eventually have like get enough of the capital, like the machines and cutting boards and all of the stuff you need, the building, like the factory or whatever, warehouse, and like hire sewers, cutters, project managers and stuff like that, and eventually like have a business where I can,
Right.
instead of selling to consumers who want to buy clothes, I'm selling to business owners or clothing designers and brands that want to sell clothes to people,
That's awesome, dude.
Yeah. And hopefully like I mean, I'm not like taking any shortcuts. I want to like make it super like ethical, and even if I can like sustainable, honestly.
That's awesome.
Like like I don't know if you guys know this, but fashion is like the most wasteful industry in the world.
I can imagine.
Yeah. So there's got to change. There's
Yeah.
got to be change in the culture,
Exactly.
man.
That's awesome, dude.
Yeah.
I'm like, I was gonna like kind of dance around it. I was gonna be like, some of the stuff you told me that you like have been planning is kind of like exciting. But I mean, I'm glad you've outright said it, because that's a pretty big dedication. And man, I'm excited to see if that goes around. And you better know, that if this actually goes through, we gonna be promoting it like crazy on here. So definitely, we'll keep you guys updated on that kind of situation. I literally hear Jackie meowing right now.
Cute.
I hope
At first, I thought it was a baby crying, and I was like,
kind of is a baby crying.
Like, but there isn't a baby here.
Jackie, please don't do this.
Man.
I was about to say, like, I mean, it's kind of related to it, but I was more so saying it as a joke, but not really a joke. Like what you what you were standing behind for your future business is what I've incorporated into just my everyday. I already tried my everyday life, or just my life in general, is just being even more eco-friendly than what I was a couple months ago.
Yes.
And I was gonna make a joke like, I'm gonna make some conscious John shopping.
Yeah.
Or copping. John copping.
Oh man, the Johns. Oh.
Wait, before we get into that, because we are talking about like, your dreams and stuff, but I really want to get into what all of us have been getting into because of quarantine.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and it is gardening.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So a little bit ago, when kind of this stuff kind of first popped, it was in March. So yeah, when this stuff first popped up, I was instantly like, if Jackie, if you bite that cord, I will kill you. I did not buy insurance on these microphones. I will literally kill you. Yeah, she's just being annoying. Yeah, so when this stuff first started, I kind of was like, I realized that I had a couple daisies that were just like, sitting around the house, like randomly potted at other places. And I was like, maybe I should make this look a bit more aesthetically pleasing. So I planted those 2 daisies in like their own pots. I kind of put them next to my shed. And I was like, maybe I should keep going with this. So I just picked up a couple of basic starter flowers like petunias and lavenders, which don't take a lot of care, and daisies, obviously. And it started out like that. I was kind of just originally going for flowers. Oh, also this was around the time when Animal Crossing came out. So I was.
Oh my gosh, we didn't talk about that. Well, that's even later. Okay, continue.
Talk about it in another episode, maybe.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. So I just liked I was filling up my island on Animal Crossing with petunias. So I was like, maybe I'll just get some in real life to kind of echo what's going on. Because I kind of want to talk about it a bit. Like Animal Crossing is kind of like obviously it's very peaceful, but it came out during a time when like I think I really needed it. Not because of COVID. A lot of people be like, "Oh, Animal Crossing came out at a perfect time because everyone's trapped inside," which I agree that's a pretty big plus. But just for me personally, I was at like a low, and having some imaginary friends to pretend to give a fuck about, that was like it was a nice like mental kind of thing to do. So I was like, maybe I should apply some of it to real life, and picked those up, started doing that. And now I think I've upgraded from like beginner to like novice gardener.
Nice.
Not far at all. But
your herbs look great.
Thanks. I mean, I kind of messed up on one of them because you're not. There's in like 2 planter boxes, I have like 1 of each kind of herb, but I put 2 herbs that shouldn't be together.
They have different requirements.
They have, one needs more clay soil and the other one needs more like drainage soil. So, one of them is just gonna have to die. Sorry, like
battle royale.
Which one lives? But yeah, so I've upgraded to herbs and a couple of
Pretty
fruits.
flower. Oh, fruit.
Yeah, I got tomatoes and strawberries.
Oh
Nice.
yeah. Totally forgot.
Yeah, and kind of the petunias are going hard. Lavenders are still little babies, but they take a long time to grow, and they're designed to last like forever. So.
Oh yeah.
And picked up a lily as well. Angelo for my birthday got me a lily, so thank you for that.
Yeah.
And you guys have also been starting to get into that.
Yeah, and because I'm that eco-friendly life, I was like, okay, I finally need to, get myself some herbs.
Practice the preach.
And because my dad's super into gardening, he has so many fruit trees and like even red peppers, growing green onion.
You guys'
and
backyard
a lot
is
of
very impressive.
Thank you. It's all my dad, by the way.
Crazy.
But he inspired me to get also you, Raggy, also get some herbs. And the one I've been getting the most use out of
Mint.
Yes, fucking love mint. Mint goes hard as
It does.
fuck.
It does.
I should have bought more, but so far I only have mint, basil, thyme, and lavender. But they all have names because like I love giving everything a name. You know,
Yeah.
we got Linda, we got Mina, I think we got Bobby, and we got Tina.
Wait, doesn't one of them break a pattern? Because aren't they all like start with the letter of what they are? Like Linda's the lavenders.
Yeah.
But then which one breaks that pattern?
Bobby is basil.
Yeah, okay.
Oh,
No, which one breaks
which
that pattern?
one breaks it?
Wait, does none of them? I thought
shit.
we had a conversation where like one of them didn't.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe it's Brenda.
What?
Wait,
No?
what is Brenda?
Oh my god. I'm mixing up
What
my
do you
children.
mean?
What?
Okay, basil is Brenda.
Mhm.
Thyme is Tina.
Mhm.
Lavender's Linda.
So it's Mina. What is Mina?
Mint.
Oh,
Mint.
mint.
So
okay,
they all-
so
they
they
all
oh,
match.
Oh, they
okay.
all
Then
match.
what did we have?
don't
Okay,
know what
never mind.
we're
I'm
talking
just tripping.
Oh,
then.
maybe I used to call basil Bobby and it didn't end with an A. Yeah.
I
I'm
don't know.
weird. My mom named him Bobby. Kind of strange. But yeah, mint goes hard. Been making a lot of mint coffees.
Nice.
Jackie,
You should-
why?
I haven't tried it. You've been like hyping it up. I
Oh my
wanna-
god, come over.
I'm over a lot. Though.
Yeah.
And then come over tomorrow.
All right.
All right,
Oh,
cool.
Fuck.
What?
Nothing at work.
You do? Oh shit.
Yeah, we'll talk about it later.
Big yoink.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you, Angela, you're into house plants.
Yeah. I mean, you guys have kind of different things. Like you're more into like outdoor gardening,
Outdoor, like pretty gardening.
Yeah,
it's more
yeah.
aesthetic. Yeah.
and then yours is more like utilitarian with
Yeah.
like different
Herbal and all
Functional.
that.
yeah, herbs and stuff. But I, like you with the aesthetics, but unlike you, is indoors. And I currently have 2 plants right now. One of them is a palm, an areca palm. And the other is a Calathea makoyana, which is like a,
Whoa, what a cool
call
name.
it like a peacock plant. But
Mhm.
yeah, honestly, dude, I think if like I'm not like playing video games or if I'm not working or whatever, like plants are kind of like,
Taking
I
over.
only have 2, but I'm like
Constantly.
watching plant YouTube and like
Plant YouTube.
I've watched or not watched. I've followed more like plant Instagram accounts, and I'm like I have like 5-10 different tabs open of like
Mhm.
plant care, and then also like different
pots?
shops of like, oh, what plant am I gonna get next?
That's awesome.
And like for a while, I was like
That's
wondering, like,
awesome.
should I even buy this online? It's like the full potted plant, but they ship it to you. And I was like, I don't know, but like I think I will next paycheck. Maybe.
Yeah, seriously. Like he's so into house plants or just plants in general that if we go out maybe just to pick up food or
Yeah.
groceries, legit when we pass by Lowe's because it's near my house, he's like, "Should I?" And I'm like,
That's awesome.
"No, you don't need another plant
Right.
right now."
Yeah, man. God.
Hey, get as many plants as you need.
I no, and the thing is, like, I would love to do outdoor gardening. It's just my backyard, and even like the front is like super filled with like fruit trees and succulents and
Mhm.
other like cacti and shit. Because like my grandma and even my dad have been like, they're not noobs to this shit. They've been doing this for years. So it's like,
But now
like,
you're into it.
yeah, I mean, like, there's like this kind of garden box thing that's kind of like secluded from the others in the backyard, and I pointed it out to you. It's
Oh
more-
yeah,
it's
yeah,
more
you
on the
did, you
side,
did, you did. Yes.
and it's like empty, and definitely
You could
could
plant
like
fruits.
replace the soil and stuff.
Yeah, you need to replace the soil.
The thing is, like, I think why I'm like veering more towards
Indoor.
indoor is because
Easier?
this is kind of segue later into a different topic, but like we're making plans of like moving out, and these plants are kind of like my children, and I want to take them
you
with
take
me.
them.
They're mobile.
Interesting.
Yeah, these boys are mobile. So I want to be able to take them with me, and if I like start a garden at my house,
Right.
Who's gonna take care of
eventually if I like leave, like
They're just gonna die.
Yeah.
Oh.
See
I
what you
mean,
mean.
like my grandma like waters every now and then, but like not every day. And then if I start like a garden with like different like maybe like some tomato plants and like some other stuff, I don't know who's gonna take care of it if I leave. So
That is true.
That's true.
invest in
That's a
like
good
some
point.
friends that I can take with me.
Yeah, exactly.
Huh.
Exactly.
Huh.
Yeah.
Interesting, because you mentioned moving out, and like I also thought about that in terms of like decorating the place with a bunch of like greenery and like make the air a little fresh. It's also got me into it's kind of random, but got me into like tech, or just like really
Technology?
yeah,
Oh,
like
okay.
just like cool. I'm sorry,
No,
I'm
no, it's okay.
I'm not a tech girl, but I'm
Mark
really
has
No,
friends.
I just need a clarification. I was like, wait,
yeah.
am I dumb?
Because I view like me copying John's isn't like limited to articles of clothing, but just big girl purchases.
It's just anything that you purchase for your lifestyle.
yeah, for my life. And for the longest time, I really wanted to get finally get a PC so I can finally play games with my friends.
Oh.
But
Oh, nice.
also like I've copped some really not strange, but I guess expensive, like random expensive stuff throughout quarantine.
Like what?
that make but oh my gosh, that I consider when I move out potentially, so I could bring it with me. So everything that I cop now, I will bring it.
Cop. By the way,
Sorry.
we use a lot of California terms or something. Like cop just means acquire. Like
Oh yeah,
get.
not the cops.
And Johns are like clothing articles or shoes.
Yeah, the,
Just so you
the
know,
original
sorry.
like
It's kind of cringe.
the original
Sorry.
definition of it is like clothes.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
But
John's.
whenever we say John's, it's evolved to the point where, like I said, it's like
It's expensive.
anything to like not it doesn't have to be expensive.
Oh,
it's just
okay.
anything to like kind of boost or just more refine your lifestyle and stuff.
Right.
Anything that you can like this
like you
is
said.
my personality.
Yeah, like you guys said, it's kind of like adult purchases.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
So-
bought a TV.
Oh,
I think
jeez.
I know, dude. Kind of crazy.
That is crazy.
It was on sale, but it has enhanced my
flex.
I
stop
never-
it. My movie watching.
That's crazy.
Yeah, because I always had a tiny little sucky TV, and
Mm-hmm.
one of the HDMI's didn't work.
Dang.
But
Yeah, definitely. Like if you you need an upgrade, then honestly,
yeah,
just
I
upgrade.
deserve it.
Yeah, prioritize what you need to upgrade first before getting some
Right.
Yeah.
new random thing.
Yeah, and
Mhm.
I've also and like when I say tech, I predominantly mean I'm into bookmarking a bunch of like cooking gadgets that I don't
Cooking gadgets.
that I don't really need. Like I don't really need a grill for camping because I can't really camp. But it's
Oh, you want like a
so-
mini gas grill?
Yeah, but it's so
yeah.
dope, dude.
Right,
Or
it
like
is.
a toaster, like upgrade my toaster oven. But I know everyone in the house finna use it. So if I move out, they're gonna like, why are you taking the toaster oven?
Right. Right.
Like, but that's my toaster oven.
Bought it.
And I even got like a perfect hard boiled egg cooker, dude.
Oh yeah,
I've
no,
been
that shit's
making
dope.
some bomb ass
Whoa.
egg salad sandwiches.
That's so interesting.
Like, let me tell you, it's so great. It's so great.
Mhm.
Yeah, but a bunch of like tech stuff has like taken over me that I keep considering.
Uh-huh.
Oh, when I move out, like I can take this with me and it'll be convenient. Da, 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 da. Yeah, I even bought a mattress topper. Oh,
Nice,
that's
nice.
random. That's
Well,
not
okay.
tech.
Oh, that's cool.
I mean,
Yeah.
you mentioned like the wanting to get a PC and getting like a TV and stuff. So that I would say that's tech, but like the egg thing and I think that leans more towards like culinary stuff.
Culinary utility.
Oh
and
yeah, huh? I call it
Speaking of
Gadgets?
culinary,
Whoa.
I've been like.
Why are
chefing-
you? First of all, why are you on fire with these transitions right now?
I've
dog?
been like looking for them. I've been like on the hunt for these
That's
fucking
awesome.
segues,
That's awesome.
man.
Okay,
But
go ahead.
yeah, I've been like chefing. I mean, like
We've
I
both
can't-
been chefing
Yeah,
up.
I can't say every day. I'm not like a regular like cooker guy, but
The cooker guy.
Hey, chef?
yeah,
Carny
well,
what?
I've definitely
Carny
been chefing it up more.
Suck.
Yes. Yeah, we just did like a weird visual thing that you guys
If
can't
you
see
know,
'cause
you
it's-
know.
It's you shout out
It's
to the
dude.
millennials.
It's Sada.
I said it.
Yeah, but I tried making sinigang for the first time a few months ago.
Explain that to white people.
Sinigang
Oh, yeah.
is
Soup.
it's a Filipino soup, and it's the base flavor is tamarind, so it's gonna be sour. You can add some peppers into it to make it spicy.
Tastes
But
really good.
honestly, like the main ingredients is that tamarind packet. You can like onion, tomato. I don't know
Bok
what
choy.
else. Yeah, bok choy.
Pork.
What is the chicken broth or bone broth or
Mhm.
anything like that?
And then pork.
And well, it doesn't eat like any type of meat.
Yeah, but I mean, eat
suits.
it pork.
Yeah, I like pork the best.
Oh, I was about to say bless you.
I did sinigang. I did Japanese curry, which is kind of like a bitch to make because it's kind of long.
But it tastes bomb.
Well, I mean, I think it was long because the recipe that I chose, it wasn't just Japanese curry. It wasn't just the stew. It was curry that you pour over on top of chicken katsu. So like
That's fucking fire.
I was like juggling. I had to make 2 dishes at once. So it was like chicken katsu,
Okay,
curry.
chef.
Yeah, no, that shit was. I mean, it was bomb. Did you have it?
No, you didn't make me.
It was for my mom's birthday, so I'm sorry. Fuck.
I made you
Dude.
some.
Call you Chef
yeah, it was
Boyardee
good.
from now
It
on.
was I.
But I don't know why. Like I'm kind of intimidated to make it again, just because
Why?
it takes a lot of ingredients.
Yeah,
but
I can
you know,
imagine.
I'll do some other new stuff. Last thing I want to mention is I made mushroom risotto. And that's kind of random but the reason I chose that is because I looked in the pantry and like we had like this unopened bottle of black truffle oil, and I didn't know like what that was, and like no one was using it, so I like looked up what can you use black truffle oil for, and then I didn't know this, but truffles are basically spinach. Oh, no, what the fuck?
What the fuck,
Fucking
dude?
brain fart.
Reverse.
That didn't mean no.
Reverse. It's basically mushrooms.
Yes.
So like any mushroom dish will be complemented by truffle oil. So one of the things that were listed was like mushroom risotto. I was like, oh, I've heard
That's
that term before, risotto. I want to try making it.
And what is risotto?
Dude, it's
For the
Italian.
non-white people.
Well, it is white.
Yeah,
though.
exactly. That's what I was saying. For the non-white people.
Oh, okay,
This time
yeah.
it's reversed.
Yeah. It's what is it? It's Italian creamy rice.
That's tight.
Yeah, and like sautéing the mushrooms was one thing. It was like took like 5 minutes, 10
What
minutes.
takes the most is the risotto.
The risotto takes so much time to
Absorbing
make.
the broth.
Yeah, because you have to gradually add more broth into it to like get it creamy enough. And once you get the right texture, that al dente, that chew,
That al dente.
you turn off the heat, add in some Parmesan, melt that shit. Oh, fuck. It's creamy.
Have you ever had some like spaghetti noodles that were like al dente?
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
I honestly
Yeah.
prefer al dente
Me too.
more. Because like if
Okay.
it's like kind of just dissolving in my mouth, it's like, nah.
Yeah, you want a bit of chew to that.
Yeah, I want some chew.
Love noodles. And I love cooking.
Yeah.
Speaking
Nice.
of your creations, I've been trying to go on the healthier route.
Not me.
And whatever. You're the reason why I'm not eating healthy. No, I'm just kidding.
shit.
But I've been, if there's anything consistent in my mornings, it's my smoothie bowls. I'm very prideful of my smoothie bowls, dude.
Fuck.
Hella bomb. Not to
yeah.
I
boast
can
my.
This is
attest to
kind of a
that.
smoothie bowl that I'm drinking right now.
Not
it's
to
kale.
boast.
It's kale based.
I fucking love kale, bro. Like
It's like kale, spinach. What else is in here? I think a strawberry.
strawberry.
Oh, nice.
Some
Just to
strawberry.
get some sweetness in there.
Yeah,
Mhm.
and then some Greek yogurt. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. Go
That's
ahead.
okay. But yeah, I've just been super into that like healthy breakfast.
Hell yeah.
mode, and because there's a lot of people living in my house, right? And so everyone tends to buy their own groceries, or it's like kind of for everyone.
That
But
sounds awesome.
but when I buy my own groceries, I could tell that my section is looking popping.
Oh,
Okay,
yup, let's go.
Okay, let me tell you. I finally transitioned to the whole oat milk train. It's fucking bomb. Shout out to Oatly. That's the best one. I tried all the other ones. They are fucking trash. I like Oatly. Okay, and I
Oatly,
have
please
some,
sponsor us.
Yes.
I
Email
have
us
some
at- I'm just
Greek
kidding.
yogurt. I got spinach and kale. I always have strawberries, blueberries, and raspberries and bananas stacked up in my kitchen.
Dude.
And then I got my pumpkin
This is
seeds,
crazy.
my flax seeds, chia seeds, and 2 types of other granola. My normal vanilla bean granola, and then my double chocolate chunk granola. If I want
God.
if I want that strawberry chocolate, type of vibe
Jesus,
going
dude.
on.
Go
and
off,
then
queen.
if you just like blend that shit up and then add the little toppings, crunch, crunch, baby. It
Dude.
is so delicious.
Oh my god.
Jesus, dude.
Yeah, and
Like-
it has good amount of fiber and protein with the other benefits and vitamins from the other fruit. Because I
That's
also
crazy.
not only is it blended because you can make any smoothie, right? Like green, orange, purple, whatever the hell. But when you have like crunchy and soft like actual toppings like sliced banana, blueberries, and then the other granola combined together, it's like so satisfying
That's
to
fucking
eat.
crazy.
Dude, that was
Yeah.
satisfying to hear you describe it.
Yeah, that
like I've
was.
had it, like you've made it for me,
Oh.
but just hearing you talk about it, I was like, yes.
Yeah, I know, dude.
Fuck.
Yeah.
Man, I eat like fucking cereal in the morning, dog. I don't. I feel
It does take
out of the
effort.
loop.
It does take effort to
Yeah,
make.
I think that's the thing holding me back. It takes effort.
But it's not necessarily like cooking. You can't really get it wrong. It's like
right, but I
put it in
don't.
the blender and then like add some more stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would say I have been cooking, but
Add
that's
some more.
but that's like
Don't
the
be shy.
one thing. Stop. But that's the only consistent thing I make every morning, and it makes me full,
Yeah.
and creates like a little healthy gut. You feel me?
One
Yeah, it
thing you
does.
mentioned is like texture, like the granola, the chunks.
Mhm.
Dude,
Add some
like
crunch.
the thing I hate about, like I love cereal, but the thing I hate about it is that it gets soggy. But like since it's like a thicker like smoothie consistency,
Mhm.
and then you add like a thicker granola thing, it's
Yeah.
not gonna get soggy. So like
Mhm.
you scoop that shit up, and
It's
it's like
constantly crunchy,
crunchy, man. Oh
and it's
my
not
Lord.
too sweet.
Fuck.
Hell yeah, dude! I love food. Did you just yell fuck?
I like whisper yelled it. Yeah.
It's like when you're trying to mimic a crowd, like.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sorry, I don't know if it sounds weird. I don't know how it's gonna sound. Let's see, how much time? Okay, so this is like our final 5 minutes.
Final segment.
How long
Hopefully,
have we talking?
how
Almost
one
an hour and a half.
Yeah, we're gonna finish at an hour and a half. I don't want to go another half hour because you usually have to be home by like 10 and it's 9:30.
Oh.
So
Really?
it
Oh,
is
we
9:30.
fine.
Anyway, but hopefully this first episode is kind of giving you a little bit of an idea on our personalities. There's a lot we haven't covered. But that's why we have more episodes coming, baby.
That's why you should stick
Also,
around.
One little thing I'm gonna announce right now that even these two don't know.
What?
So we usually record these every week, and they usually come out the week we record them. If my calendar will come up, so this one should be coming out on the 17th, and then the next one will come out on the 24th. But on the 1st of next month, we will have a little guest. He's kind of my
Oh,
friend
shit.
from school. We go back quite a bit. But originally, a long time ago, I actually wanted to start a podcast with him. But this was like in high school. So,
Wait.
are you talking? Are you
Is
gonna
this
say
Aaron?
anything? Yeah, it is Aaron.
Hey, wait, in person? Is he gonna
Aaron?
Yes,
come
he
through?
will. He will be
Okay.
around.
Aaron?
Aaron. That's
Aaron.
Aaron? Sorry.
Arian.
Sorry, no. It's just that
Arian?
I hear it from you guys like both ways, but I
Right.
never.
I
But I
think we
forgot
can
how. I forgot how he introduced himself as.
Well, yeah, but that's also different how it's properly said though. He
Yeah.
introduces himself as Aaron because people just see the name and
Yeah.
see Aaron,
Oh.
but it's actually pronounced Aaron.
I think
Like,
we can like get him to confirm it when he comes.
Yeah, we'll
through.
talk to him
Yeah.
about it. But anyway, I just want to kind of give you guys a little hint about that. He's a very good photographer. He is building a brand for himself. So hopefully, this podcast will give him a chance to kind of plug that, and you guys could maybe check out a bit of his content. But It seems like that kind of is a pretty strong first episode back.
Yeah, that is.
Yes.
Hope that kind of gave you a little view about what this whole season might be about and what's going to be going on. Jackie has like the zooms right now because she's like running in circles around us, and she like doesn't know what to do with herself right now. So
Is she in hyper mode?
she's in a bit of hyper mode. I mean, as hyper as like an 11-year-old cat could be, but she doesn't really like. Oh, by the way, for my birthday, Mario got me a cat toy, and I have not. Jackie, like the last time I saw Jackie play with a cat toy was like 8 years ago. So like I tried to do this thing where I would just put it in front of. Don't bite the cord, I swear to God. I did the thing where it's like I put it in front of her face, and I was like, please play with it, and then she just never did. What's wrong with you?
Oh, I think it was either France or Chris that chose it because it was the 9-tit.
Yeah, you want to know? I still can't get the ink thing off of it.
Big yike.
Oh, man.
No, it's okay. I mean, it's not like she's like clawing at it a lot, so it won't like explode on her. But
Yeah, it's a Naruto thingy. Kind of dope. We like anime here. I do.
anything else we should? I mean, are we just? I think it's a good place to wrap
It's
it up.
yeah, it's a good place.
That was a
Episodes
nice-
every Wednesday.
Correct.
Towards the end of the month, we might have a new segment where we do a little bit of game night. So
Oh, that's right.
check out for that, and you could follow our Twitter. We'll try to be a little bit more consistent with that now that we have a new season coming
Right.
up, or ongoing now with this being the first episode. So it is JH_podcast. Again, our Twitter is JH_podcast. So
Yep.
get a little insight from all three of us or so.
What's up?
What?
I
Yes.
also have another announcement. I've
What?
been, I've been researching like this thing called Anchor FM.
Oh, that's
Oh,
right. That's right.
right. right.
So if you're hearing this on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, then it worked because so far we've only been distributing through SoundCloud, through the payment with that, and then YouTube because it's free or whatever. But
Yurt.
if this thing works out, we can distribute to
Right.
all
You heard?
platforms that you get your podcast from. So
Right,
yeah.
and we will have we will like if it does go through, definitely by next week we will like acknowledge that audience if they're if we do move to Spotify and the Apple Podcast, like hopefully we'll get that figured out by next week because it's looking like there's not that many steps we have to take. But just in case there's like for some reason that doesn't work out, we're not going to confirm that yet. We're gonna tinker around with it, and you guys will definitely know by then. So.
And
yeah.
we're back, baby.
And we're back, baby.
baby.
Yeah, I mean, I guess we didn't really like introduce ourselves too much about like what exactly we do, like personally. But there's more episodes for that. So-
Get it done.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Thanks for listening. It's very nice to be back in the groove. Also, like maybe give us a bit of time to get back into the groove ourselves because
Humble beginnings.
it's been a very long time for us doing this, but we're no longer surrounding one microphone huddled in a very hot room.
Yeah.
We're still in that hot room, but it's our own microphones. So-
And we could be far apart from each other.
right, we could social distance. So anyway, say bye.
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 Thank you, Jackie.
Thanks, Jackie. Hey, Jackie, a word, please.
Come on, meow.
I hope that sniffing gets picked up. All right, see you. Bye, guys.
What's up, y'all? Angelo here. Thank you so much for tuning in for this episode of the Jackie's House podcast. If you're fucking with our content, subscribe to our YouTube or follow us on SoundCloud. If you want to get to know us better, hit up our social medias in the description box below.